Blah, blah, blah.
Shut
That's
up.
you.
Got a
With the shut up
license
part.
to drill. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
And if it was Kim Jong-il, it would be, I got a license to kill.
License to Kira. Yes.
Oh my God. All right, let's
Also
get
get to
going
name
here.
your firstborn child. That was in the terms as well. We're thinking dork face stinker butt. Unless it's a boy, then we're gonna call him Gary.
I don't know why that fucking makes me laugh so hard. Like that, like the worst name that you can give to a boy is like Gary.
That's funny.
Hi guys, welcome to the show. We're 45 seconds in, and Mephisto hasn't taken over yet.
Oh, not yet.
That's the
Nobody-
positive part. Yeah.
Nobody takes over the way Pope does.
Yeah,
Pope?
Pope.
Oh.
Pope. I got to tell you, man, I think we got maybe 20 minutes, and I kept trying to underail us, and Pope he couldn't hear me, so he just kept talking. I'm like, all right, I give up.
That's it. I was fixing to say, I think it has to do with his service. I think he's got a hearing problem because I was watching the show, even though, you know, I was lurking while doing the yard and stuff. And man,
Did you hear me
he
trying to get us
just
back?
keeps going. It's like he doesn't register that you're talking.
He's-
Were you able to hear me saying, well, let's get back to the movie?
Yes,
And
absolutely. Yeah.
could get him to,
He's
but I
busy
fucking
talking
love
about-
Pope so much, just like I love you and Meth. You guys are my friends, and we have that common military background, and I like the approach of talking about movies from the military veteran perspective.
Yeah.
And that's why I say military veterans and friends.
Yeah. No
It's
doubt.
like Garfield
So-
and Friends, just without Garfield.
Right.
Just without Garfield, you know, Lorenzo Music doing the voice of Garfield. So anyway, this is such an interesting production because this was his second go at Bond, and the first one hit just well enough to where he had more leverage, and so Dalton pushed to be more book Bond. He wanted to get to book Bond because he was a fan of the books. In fact, as Keith and I have said, he was, to date, he's still the only actor to play Bond that was actually a fan and had read all of the Ian Fleming's short stories and novels.
Mm-hmm.
And he was well versed in it. And he was offered the role back in, they said 72 in one article, Vanity Fair. And I'm like, no, it's 1969. He had just been in his first film with another guy that was his first film was Hannibal Lecter. I just forgot his name.
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins' first film called The Lion in Winter. And he was in his early to mid 20s. I think he was about 24, 25 years old. And a producer approached him about it. And the producer was involved with Eon Productions. And so, yes, he was offered it, not with a contract, but with the fact that he was in a big movie that year, and they thought he looked the part. But the problem was, being a fan of Ian Fleming's James Bond, he knew he was too young. Plus, on top of that, as we moved into 1970, 71, that there was no way in his mind, and he said this in the interview, that he was going to try to be Bond after Sean Connery.
No, there
that
were
comes with
rumors.
problems.
I don't know what's in your research, but there were rumors that A View for a Kill was not supposed to be Roger Moore, and he didn't really
wasn't.
want to do it because he felt like he was too old for the part. So originally, they wanted Pierce Brosnan because of Remington Steele.
Pierce Brosnan was supposed to be View to a Kill, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of dabbled maybe getting Dalton, but then no, we need Roger.
Yeah, because I don't know if there was a clear offer to him, but Keith,
no, there wasn't. There wasn't.
So Keith is right in the fact that, yes, Timothy Dalton did reject playing Bond two times.
Okay.
The first one was in 69, 70, right in that window. And the second time was in 94, because when his contract lapsed and they still wanted to have him back, they needed to negotiate. He said, no, I'm out. Because he saw it as an obligation to do more films. And it's already been 6 years. It's like, no, I don't see it. I don't think so. And so he balked and walked away from it. And that left them with a script. And you can read the script. Let me get it for you guys, because you can actually go online and read the script. Here it is. I'll put it in private
A
chat.
property of a lady.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the rumored title, but the
Yeah.
script just says Bond 17. So here's the script. It's on a Google Drive, and it is, I think, a PDF format. JPEGs come together. They're not text documents. They're scanned documents. And it's a scanned copy of the script that even has liner notes around it, editor notes, or red notes, but they're in black and white, so it's scanned in black and white. But if you see that script with all the hand scribbling on there, they would typically be in red. Basically, it was just that once in a lifetime thing, and he loved it, but then he just walked away from it and said, where are you going to go with it?
He wanted
He
to do one more, but he wouldn't have gotten a contract for just one movie. So he said, yeah, I don't want to get stuck.
That's
with
what the
this
problem
role,
was.
so I'm
He
out.
thought he could get that one film in, which possibly would have been called Property Relating, which is an Ian Fleming story. And so, I don't know. It just didn't happen. Who knows? Had Timothy continued to play Bond the third time, things. Yeah, I read that one before. Yeah. So he moved on, and the lawsuit didn't settle until in 94 going into 95. And at that point, when they were finally able to move ahead, they finally went back and got Pierce Brosnan to play the role.
I have to correct you
because-
one thing, Gary. Property of a Lady is not Fleming. It's Michael G. Wilson and Alphonse Ruggiero. They wrote it.
Oh, I thought it was based on a title from Fleming, because they tend to not use the actual stories. They take the names from either a short, because there is a GoldenEye short story, but it's a very short story. It doesn't do anything. And GoldenEye, of course, is the house that Ian Fleming wrote James Bond in there
Right.
in the Caribbean.
Mhm.
So, but there is the link. Did you share it out, Martin?
No.
Yeah, share that link out. That you can actually read the 17th script, and you'll spot moments in that script that ended up taking place between GoldenEye to what was the third Bond with Pierce?
The third one, World Is Not Enough.
World Is Not Enough. Yeah.
Isn't Tomorrow Never Dies? I don't remember.
Tomorrow
What
Never
movie-
Dies, the
what-
second one.
Yeah.
Second
that's
one?
the
Movie
second
is
First
one.
one was GoldenEye. The second
So
was
there are
Tomorrow Never
elements.
Dies.
GoldenEye,
Third one
Tomorrow
is
Never
World
Dies.
Is Not Enough. Fourth one was Die Another Day.
Yeah.
What movie
did
is
four.
this script for?
It is
Property of a
for
Lady.
it is for the unshot 17th Bond film that Timothy Dalton was supposed to be in, and it's there's no proof that was the title. That is the rumored title that they were running with at the time, is Property of a Lady. But when you read the script, it's really a good read. It's a good story. It's a good Bond film, and I think you can absolutely see in there elements that they split up into 3 movies. And when you stop and think about it, there was so much good shit in this script, they were able to split it up into 3 movies. So imagine if you got that movie. Fuck
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I do believe, because I've never read Property of a Lady, I do believe that there is a villain in it who is a publishing magnate, which you get in the second Bond film that you brought up, and I forgot the name of, with Pierce Brosnan.
The second one's Tomorrow Never Dies.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah.
So, and it kind of didn't hit very well with audiences, which is sad. I thought it had some cool shit in it.
It's my favorite one. Out of all the
with
movies,
Pierce-
it's my favorite one.
My favorite
Love it.
is GoldenEye with Pierce.
Die Another Day?
Yeah. No, not Die Another Day. No. Tomorrow Never Dies.
Tomorrow Never Dies?
Yes,
From
I
the
love that movie. Michelle
Brosnan
Yeoh
movies or
and-
from all of them?
Yeah.
No, from just the Brosnan films.
No, it's my favorite Bond movie.
My
period.
favorite is GoldenEye, and for the final one that he did,
I need to leave this show immediately.
I
No,
didn't
if
like.
I have
No.
to stay, you have to stay.
That's right.
No. I'm gonna break this fucking microphone. Are you serious, Joe?
Yeah, I'm serious as a heart attack, dude. I love that movie. Why? I'm a big fan of the stunt work in it. My favorite one before that was
Hey.
Thunderball with Sean Connery because of the underwater scene in it. So yeah,
Okay.
I dig it.
So as I was saying, basically the third film, Die Another Day, is really not one of my favorites, except for I love the whole opening all the way to the all the way through the opening titles. The rest of the movie kind of sucks, but I
do
really
like
love
I do like the sword
whole
fight.
opening.
in the
I
fencing club.
did not. I did
Yeah.
not like that. So, but
Okay.
going back, I really loved that whole getting captured and tortured thing.
Yeah.
That was a
cool.
movie all by itself for me.
Mhm.
And it's, in my opinion, the single best opening for a Bond film. And then it falls flat on its face with the
Oh, yeah.
CG. The CG effects were awful in it. The action was okay, but it just
I didn't
really fell
think
on
they
its
could make anybody a bigger clown than Roger Moore the last couple of times he was in a flick. And
Yeah,
they made
I'm not a
Brosnan
fan of
pretty bad.
Octopussy.
Yeah.
Keith loves Octopussy. I do not. But I did enjoy View to a Kill because fucking Christopher Walken and Grace Jones as
Mhm.
villains. Come on. But in this film, the thing I want to point out, it's the first time where you have a villain like this. This guy is very grounded. He's not going to point lasers at Sean Connery's penis and threaten him. You know, not threaten to kill him and then walk away and hope that he dies, which they made fun of in Austin Powers. No, I'm just going to assume you're dead.
Right.
You don't get any of that. You have a villain in this played by a person that Anima despises, but he is a gifted actor. No matter what some people say, Robert Davi is an incredible fucking bad guy, and he had already done The Goonies, and before this one, he did a film. And I'm bringing this up on purpose for anybody who's ever seen this movie has to see the fucking connection, because he was also one of the villains in Raw Deal with Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
which has the exact same revenge motif and theme, and as well as premise of getting into the mob to have his revenge on the bad guys. It's the exact same fucking movie,
Mhm.
but with Arnold.
Yep.
And Robert
Wow.
Davi's in both films. Robert Davi plays the guy that he's trying to push out of his job for this mobster.
Yep.
And I am a big fan of Raw Deal, by the way. I love that fucking movie.
That's a good movie.
We all know you like it raw. We have a breach.
And the
He's
good
Did you
ones.
raw
also-
dogging me? Did you
He's
raw dog me?
also he's also
We have a breach from Devon Martin.
no. Anyway,
do it
he's
quick,
also
'cause-
Special Agent Johnson, no relations.
no
Right. Die
relation.
Hard. Yeah.
Die Hard.
Mhm.
So
Okay, go ahead with the video.
So
I've got to go to the airport. You can let yourself out the back door. There's juice in the refrigerator.
That's a good one.
So anyway, did you share the script with them so people can actually go download
Yes,
yes, I did.
that? Okay, good. So this film also had a couple of songs I really like. I loved Gladys Knight's song "License to Kill." It's a great theme song. I don't think it's
The
the
best
best,
thing about the movie.
but it is. I won't say that, but I will say, because this is a revenge film. This is a dark, gritty fucking Bond, and he basically, gets his license revoked, and he says, "Fuck you," and
That
goes
was
on the
originally
run.
supposed to be the title, license revoked, but apparently American
some-
audiences wouldn't have understood that, which
No.
is weird.
One of the producers said that. The other producer said, "I don't believe that," and he's right, because we fucking do know what the word revoke means.
Right.
I think because
You know.
usually they take the title from one of the novels or books, and for this movie they did not, so they at least wanted to use a phrase that is used a lot, and license to kill comes up a lot.
If I may, what I found out, and I'm not saying that is the stone-written truth, but the supposed confusion with the title and the word is not that people doesn't get the meaning of the word revoke. That's absurd. What they notice that is people think of used to think about driving license instead of killing license.
Not when it comes
if
to
you're going to see a
Bond, though.
Bond movie,
That's the
again,
license to kill.
that is the stupidity of the producers who think their audience are no smarter than a fourth grader, which is fucking dumb when they do that. So, but anyway, going back to it, I want to point out too that there are at least 3 quips that I caught, which are done. They're classic James Bond quips, the way Sean Connery would deliver it, very dry. And he does the same thing, no wink, no tongue in cheek. He just delivers these quips. And my favorite of the 3 is actually the third one, but I do like the first one is when he catches Kellifer, an American agent who betrayed Felix Leiter.
Stilgar. That was Stilgar.
Played by Stilgar from Dune, right? That's right. And he's also the werewolf in Silver Bullet. Anyway,
Yeah.
his name is Kellifer.
That's here.
And when Bond catches him and he's hanging him over that pit with the sharks, he says, "There's over $4 million in that, man. It's yours, buddy. It's yours, buddy." And Bond quips back, "You earned it. You keep it, buddy," and then kills him, drops him into.
He
the
didn't
shark
say
water.
it's yours. He's offering to split it, and it's just $2 million. So Bond is like, "Yeah, no, you keep
Doesn't
it all."
matter. The quip is what's important. Is he does deliver a quip.
Mhm.
The second quip is when he kills the scuba diver with the spear gun, and he says that great line, "Compliments of Sharky," and
That's my
shoots him
favorite.
right in the chest. And according to one of the rumors that we heard about the original cut, apparently he maniacally laughs after doing it in one version. I'm like, I don't buy that. I don't think for a second that happened. But that's a rumor, and I don't believe it. And finally, the last one, he doesn't deliver one when he kills Dario, played by Benicio del Toro. His first movie, he's like 21, man. He was fucking
Yeah,
good.
Youngest
look.
Bond villain ever.
I mean, he's so skinny in that movie. It's hard to believe it's him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's-
but
he's got
these
that facial
villains are-
structure. Yeah, it's him. But
These
Man, he's
villains
so
are
skinny.
villains. They're down to earth, gritty, dangerous villains.
Mhm.
And so
He's Anakin del Toro.
he kills him in the midst of Dario trying to kill Bond. He flips the table on him and he falls down into the grinder. It's very fucking gross and horrifying. A lot of it's left to your imagination, but you do see blood, and you
Yeah,
see a
it's-
blood spray that goes into the cloud of
Mhm.
coming up from this fucking glompity glomp machine.
Okay.
And you see
hey.
a mist of red.
Yeah. Give me a second here. We need to do this one.
The fuck up, Kyle!
How you doing, Kyle? It's good to see you, my friend.
Hi,
So
Hey, boss, are you gonna set your drawing camera?
I've got it set up here. I will do it after I'm done with the trivia.
Yeah, he's
And
got
so-
the lead in. Yeah.
Because I made notes that I'm going through. So my favorite 2 death scenes in the film. Number 1, I fucking love Dario's death when he gets dropped into that rock breaker. Correct.
Dario.
That's fucking awesome, man. 2 is when Milton Crest gets killed, and where they frame him for having the money in that the hyperbolic chamber, not hyperbolic, hyperbaric chamber.
Mhm.
And he shuts the thing on him in there, and they do the Outland fucking swelling your head, the puppet. You got real person's hands touching the face, but that's a puppet, and the head blows up and it explodes, and because he cuts the line, causing a forced sudden recompression of the chamber. So anyway, that's the second best death scene in the film. That's played by Anthony Zerbe. And what have I said, guys, about Anthony Zerbe? If you see a movie that he is in the 70s or 80s, it is a classic fucking villain role. But in this one, he's a throwaway villain because he has to die in order for Bond to do what he does next.
He's a middleman in this one.
Well, he's a device that Bond uses to do what Schwarzenegger did in Raw Deal. And I do find it funny still that Robert Davi is right at the center of both those movies with the same premise plot.
Mm-hmm.
So,
hey, we all also have Tim amongst us. I can speak today. So, Tim, this is for you.
Some pictures of civilian casualties.
Fuck you, Tim.
Fuck you, Tim. Hey, guys. So the last of my notes, and then I'm done. So there's been a lot of confusion over what this story was based on. And though elements are taken from other Bond stories, in particular, the attack on Felix is actually taken from the original book for Live and Let Die. And in Live and Let Die, Felix Leiter is hung down into a shark chamber where it eats one of his arms and his leg. But he survives because Felix Leiter returns in Diamonds Are Forever in the book with a little hook, the pinchy hook, like J.J. Arms had, and he had a prosthetic leg. So he's able to continue working until his retirement. And so that is in there. And I thought that was kind of cool that was the thing that Timothy Dalton pushed for, is to have that scene in there. Because it ends up making that whole opening scene. It's fun.
It's
still
memorable.
A Bond.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, they capture Ray Davies' character. I'm sorry, Robert Davies' character by hooking his plane with a helicopter, Sikorsky.
Which was an insane stunt back at the
Crazy
time.
stunt. And he wanted to be dangled for some of it, but it was still a controlled set. It was on the set, not a moving plane. But the helicopter was above with the crane lowering him down. He wanted to do that scene. And according to the producer, Cubby Broccoli showed up and he saw that and he got really upset. And he said, get him down. We can't have him doing that. Get him down from there. Let the stuntman do that.
Yeah, he freaked out.
And that's it. That's my notes that I wanted to really talk about with this.
Good. I have 3 points of trivia myself. The first one is there's a very famous Mexican actor playing the president, Pedro Armendáriz Jr. is only for less than a minute. But here's the thing. His father, Pedro Armendáriz, was in another Bond movie.
Oh, what was it?
Okay. It was From Russia with Love. Yes. And the lair.
And that's a Shirley Bassey's theme song right there.
And this is a real place down in Mexico. Is when it was built so a member of the group can reunite them and celebrate their culture.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, it is.
They had freaky stuff happening when they filmed it, like freak accidents and shit. They believed they were haunted.
Can you show that picture again?
Yes. Give me a second because I have to. Oh, we have Keith.
Awesome.
Oh,
hi, Keith.
And now that he's here, I can actually show this one thing I forgot that I uploaded, is that people got confused too that this is based on a book, because there is a James Bond book by that title, and it was called License to Kill by John Gardner. But John Gardner was basically adapting the movie into, and I don't know which script he used, but he did adapt it into a book. Now, it is not a John Gardner James Bond book in the way he wrote the other Bond films, because those Bond books are older Bond, whereas this one was straight up for the adaptation of the movie, and it should be released with the film. So, just to let you know, no, it's not from Ian Fleming. It is John Gardner who wrote that book.
Look, it's where they had Mortal Kombat.
Oh my God.
I know, isn't that great? That's what
Yeah.
it reminded me of, is Mortal Kombat. It also kind of reminded me of the movie The Octagon, which I think was inspiration for Mortal Kombat. I know it's inspiration for it. Chuck Norris. So I love that.
When was
set.
Octagon made?
84?
Yeah, I'd have
Oh,
to-
I think it was
82.
84.
Hold on. Was it 84? Let me look it up.
Because Street Fighter, the first one, was 88.
Yeah. Oh, it way older than that. Because I was in high school, and I remember I went to see this movie with some of my high school buddies. It came out in 1980 when I was 16.
Yeah.
So this is another actor right here. I want to point out that he is the only actor, I think, to come back at that time to reprise his role as Felix Leiter, because he played him, Felix Leiter, about 10 or 15 years earlier, and the producers were terrified that he would be too old, like on a cane or crutches or some shit. But he was physically fit, ready to go. And we only lost him in the last 10 years. He finally died.
Actually, he died pretty much about 10 years ago. David Edison. And
David Hedison, best known for, come on, Keith.
Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, the television
Voyage
series.
of the Bottom of the Sea, man. It's a great show.
Was the
David
captain.
Hedison. So David Hedison was very excited to get to reprise his role as Felix Leiter. And of course, the guy in the middle is Sharky, who's another close buddy. And they're on their way to Felix Leiter's wedding to, what's her name? Priscilla Barnes? Was that it? Priscilla Barnes? Yeah.
The guy
the
in the
chick-
middle there,
The
Sharky.
chick with the 3 nipples.
Every time I look at him, all I see is him with smoke coming out of his ears, chewing Arnold Schwarzenegger's ass in Last Action Hero.
Last Action Hero, a
So
movie
funny.
that came out 10 years too early. 10
Yeah.
years later, that film would have been the hit it should have been.
Yeah, it would have been.
Because
Oh,
people
man.
weren't ready for that kind of movie. They just
Yeah.
weren't. Another great Desmond Llewellyn is in it. He plays Q, and I actually showed Anima his last bow as Q when he drops down the elevator shaft, and you've already met the new Q guy played by what's his name, John Cleese.
Who is a complete fuck up in that scene.
Yeah, he's a complete bonehead. He's a as the British would call him, he's a boner. But what's a boner anyway? So, yeah, 2019. It was just in the last 6 years. So David lived a good long life. Thanks, Paul.
Because Gary, you said they were expecting him to be too old and on crutches for this movie. He was actually fine until they did the parachuting scene, because he dropped to the concrete and got really hurt. Nothing broken.
Ouch.
But it hurt him. He was limping.
Oh,
for
there
the
are all
rest
kinds
the
of little
filming.
injuries making this
Yeah.
movie. Everybody got injured, and
I guess they did believe they were haunted filming in Mexico.
yeah,
Well,
because
there's
this was
a
a
high
film that
standard
was.
with these films.
Well,
You
this
know,
is
you're-
the first film, Keith, that shot outside of the studios in London.
Because of the
Yeah,
Films
I knew.
Act.
Well, they did a little shooting in Elstree, but very little.
Yeah, well, the Films Act came in place in 1985, and so foreign artists would have been taxed way more heavily. So they had to take it abroad, because most of the cast and production people are not British. And they were still paying off the previous Bond movie because they went way over budget.
So in so many ways, this film, the reason why it's so different, and it hit fans in the wrong way, That was one of the bad things. And it's sad because they finally got a film that was book true Bond. This is Bond from the book. And my beef with it is I didn't like a lot of his costumes in the film, and I didn't like the combing his hair back because I thought that looked weird on him. It made him look too lupine.
Well, that
And-
plus the fact that he is an older man. He was starting to lose his hair. And one of the things that I admired about him is he wasn't one of those vain actors who thought, I'll just wear a piece. He decided just to let it roll for this. And I think if he had continued on with the next movie, they probably would have convinced him to wear something. But for this movie, there's no way you could get away with wearing a piece easily,
Yeah.
By
And
the way-
if you didn't know this, right after Llewellyn left the role, did his little bow and left, he died in a fucking tragic car accident, head-on collision. Him and his wife were in it. I do believe she
Damn.
survived it, but he was killed. So that was the end of Q in the films, and sadly, not long after the film's release, the end of Llewellyn. And I remember that. It broke my heart when he died. Because we grew up with that guy, Keith.
Yeah.
We grew up with him.
He was Q from the beginning.
Yeah.
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 almost from the beginning. He was Q from the
The
second film on.
second movie. He was not in the first. He was in the second film. That's right.
But this film really is part of the legacy of what we would get with the more recent Bond films. I mean, this particular plot, you could have easily made this same movie without really cutting anything with Daniel Craig.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how far ahead this movie was. And that's part of the reason why to look at these films with this actor, if it were not for him, you would not have Daniel Craig. Period. And this is what he was fighting for. This
You're
is
giving me
exactly what he
another
was fighting
reason
for.
to hate this movie. I hate modern Bond. I hate Daniel Craig.
Yeah, Daniel Craig's run was
specifically.
not good, Mephisto.
Not
No
my
doubt
Bond.
about
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
Yeah.
I hate it
Well,
so much.
Look. Let me be fair, because I can't completely go down that road with you guys. I
You're not
like.
going to go down on it, huh?
Oh, jeez.
Phrasing.
Here we go.
I really liked his first film, and I
Yeah, it
really
started
liked.
off with a bang, Keith. Yes, it did.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and then I liked the first half of his second movie, which is more or less, as Gary likes to say, it's continuation. Really, Quantum of Solace really is just a continuation of
It's the final chapter of the events of the first film.
Yes. And so the opening of that movie is the first time they ever did that, where you continued on from where the last movie left off. So there are a lot of things about Daniel Craig's run that were kind of historic. And again, there were just certain movies of his that I really did like. But as Bond, as part of the whole history of Bond, all of his movies are, as far as I'm concerned, separated from all the other films that came before, because it's its own universe.
Yeah,
And-
it just
and-
seemed that
and-
way, man, because they made it look like in the first one that you were picking him up at the beginning again. That's what it looked like. So
But they
even though it
skipped
had
over a whole
scars
bunch
from
of
the other
stuff.
movies. Yeah.
That's right. Well,
Mhm.
his Bond is not the same as the previous Bonds, because he didn't go through a lot of their adventures. It was assumed by the audience that he would, but the producers never said he would. Craig himself never said it. They never made any promises to anybody. They just made what they made. And so, with the exception of the first one, all of his adventures are pretty much are just original,
Mhm.
And in that respect, there really is no difference between what they did with Daniel Craig and what they did with the Bourne films, because it's the same formula, the exact same formula. You adapt the first book as it's written, and then you freestyle all the rest.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Okay, just to let you guys know, Quantum of Solace is actually a title that comes from Ian Fleming. And it was part of the what was it called? For Your Eyes Only collection.
Those were all of the outlines that Ian Fleming wrote for the Bond television series. That's what that entire collection was.
And in their mind, Quantum of Solace had a different meaning than what Ian Fleming meant it as. And in that, they are reflecting more on the Bond character trying to find a resolution, coming to his quantum of solace. And that's really what they meant by it, buddy. That's all.
I just think that it would be easy for Amazon to win a lot of people back, yet do something radical by using the Reacher formula and just readapting all of the books as a television series where you take each book and make it a season.
Yeah.
Because that is also the secret to all of the Bond films. The Bond films are not exact translations of all of those books.
No,
they're not. Nowhere
not
near
at
it.
all.
Yeah.
So if you were to do that, I think you would have something really interesting and a lot of fun.
Now I want to hear from Mephisto because he did not like this movie. So let's get into that, Matt. What was your problems with it? Nobody cares about you, Martin.
I know.
I'm in that camp too, though, Gary. I'm not. It's not one of my favorite ones either.
All right, let's start with. We're going to go through all three of you, and then I want to come back to Anima and get her because she really did like it, like I did. So let's start with Mephisto first.
The thing for me about this movie is it feels like Bond is undergoing this Americanized transformation, becoming less British and more American style action. I don't know how to quantify that, but it felt weird. Where in Living Daylights, it's still it's still the legacy of Roger Moore and Sean Connery and Roger Lazenby, just with Dalton. And in this one, I just don't see it. It's just a little bit too actiony. It just went there. I'm guessing it's the sign of the times. This was what, 90 or 91, right?
No, it's still in the 80s.
89. It still feels like it's one of those action movies at the cutting edge of the 90s, where it's,
you know what, I see
we
that.
don't know yet.
I see that, Mephisto, but let me at least say this. I think part of the problem is that you have a different cinematographer for this particular film. And as Gary had stated before, the reason for a lot of the filming locations was different. You know, with the previous films, you at least spent time between being on sets and filming on location. This film is constantly a lot of location stuff. There are a few sets, but way fewer than in previous Bond movies.
I mean, in Living Daylights was heavy on location too, but it felt really different. It felt completely different. Even, I know it's nitpicky, even in the color palette of what you see here and there is a little bit different. I don't know if they went with a different, I don't know, maybe it's the cinematographer, maybe it's, I don't know, in the edit. This felt
is the
like
same kind of thing that you had with Diamonds Are Forever. If you think about it, out of all the Connery films, Diamonds Are Forever is a really different look for that film series up to that point. And it seems like it adapts a brand new color palette every time Bond comes to America. You know, there seems to be a difference in the way that the Bond films are made and the way that the color palette is.
Well, they did
And
the
like I
same thing
said-
with Live and Let Die because it had such a different feel from all the other Bond films at that time.
Mhm.
Because once again, he's in America. So I
Yep.
agree. There seems to be that thing that happens.
It's almost like they go out of their way to really say, hey, this is different. Bond is in America, and this is what it is. Because this entire first half of the movie, that entire opening sequence, again, has a different look. You know, it's a difference. I have to look at the credits, but I think they ended up using a different cinematographer for this entire film. And that's part of the reason why it is so different than the previous film. You know,
Well,
But
Also-
it's not just the color palette. It's the way you construct the script and the story that is a little bit different from your regular Bond formula, where regular Bond formula can take some twists and turns. And in this one is a little bit, not a little bit, but very much like straight and to the point. There's no mystery. In most Bond films, you've got a little bit of mystery, or it goes straight to the point, but then it just misdirects you a little bit. You don't get that feeling here. It's pretty much there's your generic villain, your generic henchman, your generic side villain, and the story just plods along. Technically, it's not a bad movie.
I
And
wanna
it
interject
definitely
something
got a
here.
bad rap, but I don't like it at all.
I want to, because you said something there that leads to something that Danny wanted to talk about. Anima, you were wanting to talk about one of the other big changes was the soundtrack. So would you go into that real quick?
Yeah, well, John Barry had to resign as a composer because he was sick. He was about to have surgery, and Kamen was the closest to what he would do.
And we all know
Music-wise.
him from Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and really to me, his greatest success is the music he did for Highlander, the first one.
Yeah. Now I want to go back. Hold on. Anima still had some more that we needed to go over. The most probably biggest prolific change to James Bond was the way he did the music. And what was it they said about that?
I don't know where you're going.
Because you were with me when we were watching that thing where they talked about how different it was from the way John Barry did it.
I forgot.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
No. It's my fault.
But
Because I thought you
where-
wanted to talk about that because you were very opinionated when we were watching that
Well,
documentary.
yeah, because the guy said that he quit. And he didn't quit. He had to resign for health reasons. And that's a different thing, in my opinion.
Well, also the guy said that Kamen didn't really make a soundtrack that sounded like James Bond. It sounded more like incidental music from other stuff. And then he criticized that he overly used the Bond theme cue too much. So
and
I'm
I
like,
disagree.
well,
I don't think he
which
did.
I do too. I don't agree with him at all. I thought Kamen did a very, very good job. So
I did
back
too.
to you. I'm sorry, Meph. Get back to you with your issues.
I'm good. It's like part of the reason why I don't like this movie is I don't remember anything particularly that I liked, any scene, any action scene that I liked, which is bad. I mean, in Octopussy, you at least got the guy who has the yo-yo with a saw on it. Like in Live and Let Die, you've got like this fucking voodoo. In Moonraker, you've got Jaws in space. Every single moment, even in like A View for a Kill, you've got the Grace Jones jumping off of the Eiffel Tower. in Living Daylights, you've got him and one of the Dalbo sisters on a cello case, right? Like going from Austria to Switzerland or something. In every Bond movie, you've got something that you remember from a Bond movie, and in this one,
iconic henchman, yeah.
Like, what do you remember from this movie that you were like, okay, this is iconic? It happened in this movie when he lands on the boat. Like what?
The big break scene for me jumps to mind. But for me personally, Bond for a long time was to action films what Disney was to animation. By 1989, you had seen a lot of stuff with Bond films where you were taking on villains that kind of represented certain things about that particular time period. You know, the threat of nuclear war, or you know, things like various coups in countries where it seemed like a lot of people were being, you know, rising up and being overthrown. You had in recent years the whole fear of tech. For this film, by 1989, well, what had happened internationally? What had become one of the biggest things was the drug trade.
Yep.
And one of the biggest IPs out there happened to be a television series called Miami Vice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for a lot of us, we forget how big that show was.
It changed television.
Yes.
I remember I was out on Johnston Island, cut off from the world. I come back, I watch an episode of Miami Vice where this is Into the Run, where Edward James Olmos is the boss, and he's protecting one of his old espionage buddies' wife's on an island, and he actually beheaded a guy. It's a silhouette. You don't see.
Oh, I
blood
remember
or
that
anything,
one.
But he decapitated a guy on television, and I was like, "Wow, has TV changed since I left the States? Holy shit!"
And what other program had been changed from how it used to be because of plots like this?
Mm-hmm.
Look at how Magnum PI changed. Okay, I mean, Magnum, I think, had just gone off the air by the time this movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a completely different series than how it started. You know, things were changing in the world, and it looked like the drug trade was going to be a massive part of our future. Because at that time, if you go back in time, we really didn't know what the hell to do about these guys.
No.
They seem to be everywhere. They're kind of like the tech bros nowadays, you know? And for Bond to take them on, that's pretty appropriate, although Bond was usually the first. And by the time they got around to having a plot where they could take on these guys, Miami Vice had already done it.
Yeah.
And had done it really well.
Had done it really well from the first episode with Carl Derone. He was a recurring character, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I get what Mephisto's saying.
Yes.
This doesn't, if anything feels separated from the Bond verse, it's this one. And I think I just boil it down to this. There's no iconic henchman like Mephisto was saying, and he's on a mission of revenge, yes, but it just seems to me like he could have done this a lot easier and a lot simpler. I mean, the guy has taken on entire global organizations before. A drug dealer should be a lot easier to deal with than this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. The making of the film was really cool. If you're asking for things that pointed out to me, I always remember the guy blowing up in the decompression chamber. I always remember the 18-wheeler on two wheels getting a rocket shot underneath it. I do remember that part. But the other thing I really don't like when they make him into a clown, and it was borderline getting there with the Wayne Newton character. He's funny and all, but you know, that part of it really, I was sitting there going, "Oh my God, what are we
Oh,
doing?"
bless your
You know?
heart, darling.
Yes. Oh my God.
Again, you have to understand what was going on in this country at that time. I mean,
PTL, Jim Baker,
that's right.
Jimmy Swaggart, all of that shit.
Right, right. And
Absolutely.
it's I get the comedy bit, but you know, I mean, I like the tongue-in-cheek stuff that's interjected in there occasionally. I don't need an entire character that's just a clown.
I look, I totally agree with you. Look, out of both of these films from Dalton, I like the hardcore nature of this movie. Okay, but The Living Daylights is still my favorite film of his.
Yeah,
you know,
Living Daylights was better than this, leaps and bounds, if you ask me. Yeah, absolutely. But
sorry,
I
Mephisto,
tell you,
I did not need to step all over you, dude.
No,
well,
you're
we
good.
need to get to Martin's opinion here. So, Martin, dig in, dude.
Yeah, I didn't like the movie. I was liking it.
Is that
Just
because
until
your
the mo-
family were drug lords?
I cannot deny.
You can neither confirm nor deny.
I cannot. But well, Miff said something that I haven't thought it before, and he's absolutely right. Apart from there is no really scary, iconic villain. There is not a moment in the movie that you can say this is the moment of this movie when you think about it, except for the fucking fake wheelie in a truck that is impossible. That's another bag of whining. But I was enjoying it because it was real. It wasn't having so many gimmicks. And then you have fucking ninjas. That's when the movie lost me. I'm sorry, I cannot
forgot
take
about
seriously.
that. Yeah,
yeah, I cannot take that seriously. So from that point on, the movie went downhill for me. And here
So you-
we have
So you
Talisa
don't
Soto.
like.
Wait.
So you don't like
wait.
the man with the golden gun either, huh?
Most probably, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Man with the Golden Gun? Oh, dude.
No, I'm not a Bond fan. But we have here Talisa Soto and Kari Hiroyuki Takawa, Princess Kitana, and Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat. So you are right.
There you go.
I told you.
This was somewhat nice. The moment when he disguised as Samantha. It was nice. But yeah, it was like I think Sanders said, it was going as a very Jason Bourne movie, and for me that's a good point. I don't like the gimmicks and the doohickeys and the gadgets and all the layers with the uniform henchmen. So I was enjoying this until we got fucking ninjas, and you have a freaking drug lab full of gasoline. And are you seriously telling me that you don't have a fire extinguisher there? One fucking office got a relatively small fire, and we have to go because the whole installation is going up. The fire is out of control, and you can see the flames from the window. And no, they felt. Now, as Bond, he made an absolute good job. I like the way he portrays.
Yeah, I don't think any of us have issues with Timothy Dalton in the part. He's really good at it. He really was. And like you guys have talked about, our guy Pierce Brosnan was supposed to be doing this part by then, but I mean, a lot of people a lot of people aren't into Timothy Dalton. I love him. I think he's a great Bond. I really do. He's number 3 on my list of Bonds. You know, so
And he comes closest to actually physically looking like Bond
Yep. Mm-hmm.
from the books.
Yep.
Because he had a bit of a lupine face, as does Timothy Dalton.
Go ahead, Martin. I didn't mean to stop you, but I was.
No,
I can't believe there was a time where they thought Mel Gibson can play Bond.
Oh, come
and
on.
then they
What?
said he's not gonna be Bond because he's too short.
Hey, we have that
stupid.
open with here.
Hey,
Sean.
Das Wolfen's here. What's up?
Hi, John.
The man.
He's also
Yeah.
my James Bond, Connery.
Connery's this measuring
And
stick. I
Felix,
mean,
too.
you know, I'm a Pierce Brosnan guy myself, but I recognize the fact that the best was Sean Connery.
As big a Connery fan as I am, he's my second favorite. My first favorite is Timothy Dalton,
Yeah.
because I just felt like we finally got a Bond that makes me feel the book.
Yeah. Opinions vary, you know.
You felt
Um,
all tingly inside, Gary.
Right?
Oh,
I always feel tingly inside.
oh my.
It was just
My.
exceptionally much so.
And we're gay again.
That's it.
I had
With the
to. I
movie
had
like
to bring
James
it.
Bond, too.
I gotta pull it back to the gay side.
Come
Yeah.
on. I'm getting dizzy.
Lazenby was not a good Bond, and also the entire movie in terms of script was not good. Bond
Yeah, I did not like his movie.
cannot marry a woman. That's why the Daniel Craig stuff wasn't working for me either. There's the other aspect of it. Was the Daniel Craig thing was all about him and Vesper and their relationship. Bond doesn't
Yeah.
have relationship.
Yeah, Craig wanted that was Craig's input. Craig wanted
He has
his
affairs.
Bond to have relationships. They gave him too much autonomy in that series. It was its downfall. It completely was.
Bond has
That's not-
affairs and doesn't get too close to the ladies other than having
Bond's
fun.
all about the
Because-
mission.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, and he lost his wife on his wedding day.
Yeah.
So that's the tragic thing in this movie, that the same thing happens to Felix. They kill his wife on his wedding day.
Yes. After he reminds the audience that Bond's wife was killed. Remember when Felix wife tells Bond, you should marry to, and Felix put an ay face, and then he tells her he was married once.
An ay face.
Yes.
I like that description. I have that face in front of my inner eye now.
Martine, I will send you something. Not today because I'm getting tired. I will send you an ay face, and you would know why I was laughing. You don't know why exactly, but you'll know after I'll send it to you. Ay face.
Yep.
I like that.
Oh God.
Connery, Brosnan, Moore, Dalton, Lazenby, Sellers, Craig. Craig. I like Casino Royale. I didn't like how he portrayed Bond, but I like the movie. I mean, he portrays Bond with a.
Well, Le Chiffre is the best, one of the best villains in the history of Bond.
He's a very good villain.
I love the way Mads Mikkelsen played him. Just fucking scary.
I think he one of the
Wally
best villains,
Cox?
right? On screen.
I don't know. Talisa
Wally
Ballas was very good,
Cox
too.
as Bond. What?
No, Mads Mikkelsen. What are you talking? I'm talking about
What?
the
No, I'm reading on the screen. I think
Oh.
they passed up an opportunity to cast Wally Cox as James Bond. Fucking Wally Cox.
I don't know who that is.
Well, Queen Latifah's still alive, so there's hope.
Oh my god.
I bring up I brought up Mel Gibson because I distinctly remember there was a picture in the article I've seen. They actually ranked all the Bonds in height, and they had Connery was the highest one, and then Lazenby, and then Roger Moore, and then Dalton, and then Mel Gibson. And Mel Gibson was like this tiny.
Guys, Sean Estep have gifted 10 Pop Culture Minefield membership. Thank you very much, Sean.
Holy shit!
No, not
thank
this.
you,
No,
Sean.
no, not that one.
Haven't seen Sean in a time. Good to see you, man. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
good to have
him.
you
in a while.
back.
Yes. And the winners are CJ Prime, Alex Charlton, Love It Ever After has become a member. Thank you very much.
You know it's random,
well,
right?
Yeah. Yes. We have sorry, yes, I was reading the winners. We have Wandering Outlaw, Sean. What? He won one of the membership that he gets. That's nice. Pope Metallicus, All Hail Pope. We have Words and Pictures, Gomer, Lil Dirty X, and Nelson Moreno. Congratulations to all of you. And if you're watching this, don't forget to say your thanks to Sean Estep.
He did the coolest thing on Panetta Farms for me and Danny. It was
What did he do?
Trinity and Neo walking into that place and shooting the place up, and it was an intro for our Brothers Hack the Matrix thing. He put our heads on the two bodies and had us kicking everybody's ass. And the heads of our enemies said pop culture, sports, news. One of them had an NFL football in their head. It was funny.
Oh, awesome,
it was pretty
dude.
cool. Yeah.
Give him a video, Martin.
Wait, did you have Anakin Del Toro?
No.
Yeah.
Anakin Del Toro. That's him, dude.
He's
wow.
the youngest Bond villain ever. That guy.
Wait, oh man, I click on the wrong. I'm trying to get us where we were. Oh Jesus.
He's in there.
Not Jesus, Jesus.
That would be correct.
No, that was your cue, Keith, to say "oh geez" in that way only you can.
Oh cheese. Oh cheese. Oh cheese.
There you have Pedro Mendez. Well, and this is here in Mexico. That's a library.
Yeah, a lot of it was shot in. A lot of it was shot in Mexico City, and it caused massive health problems, especially for Broccoli. And it was the last movie where he came on set.
Wait, Martin, you were seriously saying "Donde está biblioteca"?
No, it would be "Donde está la biblioteca"?
La biblioteca. So I made myself laugh.
For the membership.
Breathe, man, breathe.
I'm good. I need to go to bed. I'm just having a good time. That's all. Like I'm making myself laugh, which is nice. I mean, Gary and Joe are like, we're painting, we're drawing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Sometimes they go over my head like
We're
NASCAR
drawing.
because I'm actually drawing something and paying.
You're
attention to that.
painting.
Yeah.
You take paint and color stuff. No,
I paused it here so much. I paused it so Martin has time to give Sean his video for the 10 membership gifts.
Okay. Oh no, this is too long. Okay. Oh, yes, this one. This one will do.
What are they doing over there? They're filming something. They're filming midgets.
Ray. There you go. Thank you very much, Sean.
Quick question aside.
Okay.
Right?
¿Dónde está el baño? El tipo del baño está al final a la izquierda.
Exactly. I wanted to ask you something because I kind of know the answer, but we'll see. Do you guys get the free gifted subs to give as a channel? No? Yes?
Wait.
I'm not
Uh,
monetized,
uh,
so I wouldn't know anything about what you're talking
No. I'm asking the powers that be.
about. Yes.
Oh, do we receive something for it? Is that what you're saying?
No. Every channel, well, not every channel, but like a regular YouTube channel, once it gets monetized and above certain number of subs or something, they can give random like gifted subs once a month. I think it's 5 or 10. I don't remember.
I didn't know that.
It's sort of a courtesy, but the downside is you have to be a regular channel and not a branded channel. Because for some reason, branded channels can't receive gifted subs or give gifted subs.
what?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. And if you have a branded channel, when you're scrolling down and like switching between channels, it will actually appear that you have 2 different channels, 2 different accounts. I'll show it to you one day. It's weird. I have it. That's why I can't really receive any gifted subs on any channel. Or give gifted subs. I don't have it. I don't have that option. I should.
Yeah, you should. I do know that one setting you have to deal with if you want to receive them is oh my God, what's it called? I think most of these things default to top chat, and you want to switch that to all chat to make sure you have a chance at the.
No, it has nothing to do with that. You have to go to like the settings below the 3 dots of the channel itself and say can accept gifted subs. And it used to be not default. And so the default was not receive anything. Now the default is yes, receive.
Okay.
Yeah. They've changed that not long ago.
It might just be on mobile devices though, because I most of the time I'm watching this on mobile devices, and I've seen that pop up before for me.
No, it doesn't matter. The top chat and the live chat is all about if you want to watch the entire chat instead of screening out like jibber jabber. But enough YouTube talk. Carrie Lowell.
I'm tired of your jibber jabber.
Carrie Lowell is one of the sexiest Bond girls ever.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I think she's gorgeous, man.
Even though she's a
And
little
she
bit
nailed-
cockeyed. She's a little bit cockeyed, but you know, other than that, she's okay.
Doesn't matter. She nailed the action scenes. The only thing she had trouble with was shooting the gun because she kept squinting her eyes and wincing. So they had to do some serious training with her to get her to stop closing her eyes.
I think Bond just fucked her a little cockeyed.
I was supposed to say, I knew that was coming from Gary. I knew it was.
The thing about her is she can rock short hair.
Yes.
Have you seen her with a longer hair?
No.
Doesn't look good.
It's a wig in the beginning scenes of the movie. She's wearing a wig.
No. I mean, in real life, with longer hair, she does not look good at all.
I haven't seen that. Longest I've seen is the wig in the movie. And I agree, she rocks the pixie.
Yeah.
The double take
is-
that James Bond does when she enters in that hot dress with the short hair. And he looks at her a second time. Awesome.
Read by nature. I have a question.
Uh-oh.
She's got an eye for what now?
Yeah, is she anything like
Oh,
Shannon
my.
Doherty, where her right eye looks like it's trying to escape her face?
Right. Oy.
You leave Shannon Doherty alone. Right.
I sympathize.
May she
I
rest in
sympathize
peace.
with her action. Yeah, so sad.
Yeah. You know, as much as I hated her character on Charmed, I wouldn't wish what happened to her on anybody. That's, yeah. It's a shame what happened to her. No doubt. Old Dalton, man. He was a tough Bond. Really was. Shame he only got 2 movies.
Yeah.
Keith,
Well-
was he supposed to do other ones?
Yeah, I talked
Yeah,
About
we
that
talked
earlier.
about
I know
that.
you talked about that earlier, but I mean, was that all the plans they had for him, or did they have?
His plan was for one more film,
Mhm.
and the film they had for Bond 17 is supposedly tentatively titled
Property of a Lady.
Property of a Lady.
Right, that's the script you put up. Yeah.
I assume that was a working title because they were expecting to start shooting in 1990, and then
Well,
the whole
the
legal
script-
shit went down.
That script, it has no title for the film. It's just simply says Bond 17.
That's why I say working title, because they wanted a title to call it and not just script for Bond 17. Some movies go through a handful of titles before they settle on one.
I'm pretty sure, unless they were actually adapting a book, a lot of these Bond movies have a number before they come up with a name.
Like, yeah, if you do a franchise like that, it helps when you number them. I like that alarm clock. Never to wake anyone up who uses it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Q is awesome.
He is awesome.
On a Dentonite toothpaste.
Believe it or not, guys, I mean, we know this is the best Q ever, but the guy, one of the bright spots of the Craig run, I thought, was the guy they had as Q in there. They had him as a tech guy that knew how to do all the tech stuff, and it was pretty neat. I liked him.
I was
I'm
fine
so
with it
happy
until they said that he plays the character as gay, and I'm like, what does that fucking
no.
matter? What does that even fucking matter? What's it got to do with the story and what
Yeah.
he's doing?
Nothing.
Yeah. Well, you know, once again, like Keith likes to say, look at the time it was made in. You know, they're trying to, you know, check all the boxes. So, yeah.
So, you know, Davi is very method, right? He is so method that to prepare for this movie, he actually went and got himself introduced to a drug lord in Mexico.
Get out of here.
And he liked, yeah, and that drug lord guy, he liked the way he was portraying a gangster in this movie.
Yeah, because he would go into local establishments, bars, and he would walk in like he fucking owned the place.
He stayed in character of that, yeah, and I think it's a big move.
I mean, the drug lord saw him and he was like, "Oh, Fratelli!"
No, he learned how to talk like them and shit like that. I'm all okay with that, but to walk around a city that is not yours and act like you're still in character, and everybody's like, "What the fuck is going on here?" That's weird.
Yes.
What I do like is that he has...
I get the distinct feeling that she doesn't like Robert Davi.
No, I don't. But
Okay.
I like that they make him have a pet iguana with a brilliant collier.
And of course, that's a callback to Blofeld.
Absolutely, yeah, with his kitty. That's why I like it so much. And yes, I watched this movie with my kitty on my lap. Like Blofeld.
Mr. Bigglesworth.
I don't think Anima gets that because she's never seen Austin Powers.
Really?
I never will.
Oh my gosh.
Not
You
like
should.
Those movies.
You should.
Yes,
It's fantastic.
Oh my god, fat bastard. I love that.
Fat bastard. Get in
It's in my
belly.
belly.
Man.
Anyway, guys, I'm going to sleep.
All right.
Good
Yeah.
night.
All right, buddy.
Christo,
To get
I
up
hope
in-
I didn't completely destroy your respect for me with my favorite Bond movie. But
Oh, you did.
oh, okay.
But I'm fine with it. It's that at the end of the day, Joe, I'm just, you know,
I know
playing-
you messing with
I'm
me.
playing
Yeah.
it up for the camera.
Yes, sir.
I thoroughly disagree that it is the best Bond film, but if it's the one that you like the most, I can't.
There you
argue
go.
with that.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the best. It's my personal favorite.
I can't really argue with that. My favorite one is Goldfinger, and you can punch holes in that movie, but I still think
that's an
it is
iconic one. I mean, come on.
no. I think it is the best Bond movie, mostly because that every other Bond movie and Bond parody uses elements from that movie.
Yes, it does.
That means it is the definition of a Bond movie, and you can take it from that into every other direction. You've got more mystery, more spy, more detective, more actiony, but the rest of it is just that movie.
And it's hard to top the iconic henchman that's in that movie, no doubt.
I mean, who throws a shoe? Honestly.
Right.
And with that, I'm gonna go. Good night.
Take care, brother. Good
Wait a minute. Wait, I know. I tend to not shill, but this time I will. This Saturday, I'm celebrating my birthday. We're gonna do Revenge of the Nerds, and then I'm going to actually show up on Pop Culture Minefield to do the Goonies because A, it's a good movie, and B, I don't have to get up early in the morning because I finally took a day off on my actual birthday.
There you go. All right.
Before you go,
Right?
Good for you.
So join us for the Revenge of the Nerds. I think Tom will show up if he wakes up, and then we'll move everybody to party on at the Goonies. Right?
Okay.
Kick ass, man.
Given that you're gonna do Revenge of the Nerds, go out with this one.
I was just about to say that.
Excellent.
Mephisto.
Good night,
Hey,
buddy.
man, look,
See ya,
always
Keith.
good having you, buddy.
You too, man. See ya.
Mephisto is one of the greatest. He really is.
Oh, it's always
He
good
is.
to have him here.
He's like a way cooler version of me.
There you go.
Oh, that's impossible.
Said by the man himself. Let's see. Okay.
Random task. Yes, no, don't look for that guy. Got in so many trouble.
Was that Liu Kang?
Yep.
No.
That's
It's
not
Shang
Liu
Tsung.
Kang right there.
No, that is Shang Tsung.
Oh, yeah.
Shang Tsung. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. You know who I meant. The bad guy in Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat. Yeah.
Yep.
Liu Kang's the good guy. Yeah. Shang Tsung is the one that's going to steal your soul. That's right. Your soul
Yes.
is mine.
It's mine.
One of my favorite memes is him doing that, only it says your meme is mine.
Dude, I am well aware Mortal Kombat is a very bad movie, but I love it with all my heart.
Dude, it is what do they call that? Guilty pleasure? That's what it is. It's a bad movie. The CGI on the lizard guy reptile is horrible. But you know what?
Yeah.
That movie's off the chain. It's so great, man.
Yes.
It is.
However-
it is.
Yep.
However, for its day, the CGI wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but come on, Reptile. He looked bad, dude. It was bad.
Yeah, Reptile shouldn't look like a.
I like the
creature.
practical effects on the four-armed guy better than the CGI on.
Oh, Goro, yes.
Yeah, Goro. He looked great.
That
in
was
movie.
that was remarkable.
That was a fun movie.
Yep.
So Tom Baker didn't like Diamonds Are Forever. I wouldn't know because I haven't seen it. As I stated,
Diamonds
before,
Are Forever. Look, they brought Connery back because of, the Lazenby film failed, and as much as I love Sean Connery, he mailed it in that movie. You guys could tell, but it gave us two of the best henchmen ever. I'm sorry, those two hitmen that were trying to kill him that whole movie were great.
Yeah,
They
they
were
were quite clearly gay.
Yes, absolutely. My gosh, but were they not fun to listen to their banter back and forth with each other? They were very highbrow assassins, I guess you'd call them. Yeah.
Speaking of video game movies, I think the only movie that was worse the worst video game movie was Street Fighter.
Yeah, that
It's
was sad.
quotable.
Yes.
Quotable.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
me. But
I don't know
yeah.
if it's the worst, but it's surely a solid contender to that title.
As
Yeah.
talented as Raul Julia was, he couldn't say that. I mean, come on.
And you could tell he was dying.
Yeah,
He made it.
he didn't look good in it. Yep.
Yeah. Who wants to go home and who wants to go with me?
The most revealing thing was when Van Damme was being interviewed for that movie, and the first thing he said is, "Before you ask me anything, I did it for the money."
Damn,
Dang.
that is not a ringing
Yeah.
endorsement by the actor, by the talent. Yeah, no doubt. That's funny. Good Lord.
And I've read that he was atrocious on that set.
Who? Raul Julia or Van Damme?
Jean-Claude.
Jean-Claude? No.
Jean-Claude supposedly is a pain in the ass in all sets. So
Is he? Wow.
that wouldn't surprise
I've
me.
never been a big fan of his. I tell you, the movie a couple of movies I like with him is Kickboxer, Bloodsport, and Time Cop is my favorite one.
Yeah, I
How
know a lot
dare
of people
you.
who love that movie.
My ears are in fire. How dare you say?
You don't like
Ah.
Time Cop, man? Come on.
I hate it with a passion.
Well, I love
it's in the triumvirate of evil for me. We have Time Cop. Which one was it? Cobra and Face Off. Those three
Okay,
movies
come
are
on
cursed
now.
in my house.
Cobra's
No,
a lot
no.
of fun.
No,
And Face
it's
Off's
not.
a lot of fun. Come on, man.
No, it's not.
Come
Oh.
on.
No.
Oh.
Oh yes, we have Steven something in Tom Baker.
Right.
He loves
Jean-Claude.
Jean-Claude.
That girl does rock a short haircut, though. My gosh.
Yes.
She's gorgeous. Yep.
Yeah, but the other one is prettier. Talisa Soto was prettier in the movie, if you ask me.
Uh-huh. Well,
You see?
you know,
Even the kitty agrees.
Yeah.
her trying to run interference with Wayne Newton later on is just, oh my God.
By the way, I wanted to bring up that my dad and I was a child, became friends with his aunt. He's from Fredericksburg, Virginia, where I grew up.
Wayne?
And
Who's
yeah.
aunt?
Wayne Newton.
Oh.
Wayne Newton's aunt. And he would come to town. We'd see him on a regular basis. He's very, very down-to-earth, nice guy in real life when we ran into him. His family was so nice. And he owned a ranch there right outside of Fredericksburg in Stafford County of Arabian horses.
Mm-hmm.
And the aunt invited my dad and I over to go, look at the horses and have dinner at the ranch. And that was nice. But it led to a funny moment because we had just relocated to Virginia from the Southwest, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm used to the way people talk in the Southwest and sometimes even Illinois. But goddamn, man, we're there in Virginia, and apparently I'm sitting in the car. She walks out and she says, Gary, not Gary, Gary, can you carry me home? And the look on my dad's face, looking at her like, what? He goes, I'm asking, can you carry me home? And he looked at her and he goes, I can give you a ride. Is that what you're asking? A ride? She just laughed. She go, yes, darling, I just want a ride. And it was so fucking funny. And to this day, I'm like, who came up with that? Can you carry me home? And I've heard other people from that part of the South say that shit.
Hey, 11 Alpha's here.
Hey, Alpha, what's up?
Maybe it has something with the days of horse and carriage. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just funny. Can you carry me home? Like, what the fuck are you asking? Like, who does that?
Well, you learn something new each day, or you should at least. That was yours.
Oh boy.
I would have
go
loved to
with
see you and your dad's face at that moment.
We got
The puzzlement.
They're fixed.
Well, it's just like I'm like looking and thinking, did she say what I think she said?
The money. I don't know if that scene. That's one thing that I liked in this movie that I think either it was Tom Baker or Sander Hammerschlag said that the way in which Bond manipulated this guy to basically.
Oh yeah, he got him to kill somebody that didn't
Yes.
even deserve it. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he's just an incidental character that he's getting killed just simply so he can make more points with him.
Yeah. That's all it was for. Get him closer to the inside.
Hey, look at that. Alpha says, my family uses carry like that, by the way.
Yeah, it's well, aren't you from the same area I'm from, Alpha? Because I know Tim lives in the area where I grew up, and I'm sure he's probably heard it too. But it's a Southern turn of phrase, man. Carry me somewhere. It's like, and the first thing that pops into your head, it popped into my head, is like piggyback? Like, what the fuck are you asking?
You want me to, fireman's carry? What exactly is going on?
Only
Robert
Davidson.
With the money?
Laundry. Oh my God. That is one of the best quips in the movie that I think people missed the meaning of it, because it has that double meaning of laundering cash because he's mob, but also wash the blood off it.
Mm-hmm. Launder it.
Alpha says, I am from South Florida, but my family is from North Florida, South Georgia.
Which is, there you go. That's South. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so close to being done with this panel.
This chick really wants to get killed.
I'm just laying down the shapes in this one, Gare.
One of my favorite things about this, by the way, is I love how the other agent gets so jealous.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's
And
like fucking high school.
Yeah, when Q tells her, sometimes field agents have to take extreme measures in that way, something like that. And she just says bullshit. She's so jealous in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
She even says, like, fuck it, I'm not going to help him. But then she does anyway.
Now, I'd like to know if any of you got the same vibe that I got, that Q, not Q, M, besides telling him that speech, that the Queen and the Mission and the blah blah, he really was rooting for Bond.
Oh, he was.
Oh yeah,
because he says, "God protect you." Is that what he said? God protect you.
And something like that. God protect you, Commander. And then he talks in code to Moneypenny to assign Q to help him.
Which is awesome. I love to have so much of Q in this movie. By the way, when M revokes his license, did any of you catch what Bond says to that?
What?
He says a farewell to arms, I guess.
Oh,
that's a Hemingway novel.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
We have Wolby of the 1/4 Jew, or 1/4 Jew.
That is a funny username. Welcome.
Oh, that's Wolverine. Yeah. What you doing, man? Good to see you.
That
Oh,
means
that's one of your heroes,
he's circumcised Wolverine,
Oh.
or at least
Shalom, Bugs.
partially. Yeah, they cut off
Uh,
one side. They cut off one side of his hood over his head.
I mean, that probably happened to Wolverine in his teens by accident.
Yeah, he did it himself.
Oh my
I told
God.
you not to keep touching yourself. That would
Stop
happen.
it. Oh, that's too good. Oh. It's good to see you, Wolverine.
Hey, we have another comment from Alpha. My great-great-grandfather was taken prisoner near Gary's Old Digs.
Yes,
in the Battle of
Spotsylvania Courthouse. It's a huge battle, not far from the Bloody Angle. And oh my God, this is why. Because I don't talk about this much, but I don't know if you know this, 11 Alpha. My dad kidnapped me from my mother. And what he did was illegal, but I understand his motivation was to get me away from all the drugs and bad behavior. So he fled Arizona, and he couldn't go to Illinois because we had family there and we'd lived there for a couple of years. So he moved all the way across the country. And because my dad became a professor of history, he moved us to Fredericksburg because of all the battlefields. And it's just surrounded there. That whole area is just nothing but, and I remember we'd go for walks and you could find bullets, shrapnel from cannonballs, all sorts of shit stuck in trees, in the ground. You'd be walking along out in the woods out there, and suddenly you realize the trail you're on isn't a trail, it's a trench.
Wow.
Oh, awesome.
That was my childhood. And the Battle of Spotsylvania Courthouse was a gnarly little battle. And yes, there was a lot of Union POWs there. And it was funny because I'm a Yankee living in Virginia. Even though I consider myself a Southerner, I am technically a Yankee because I support the Union. All my family fought for the Union. And so it's like, holy crap. And this one old lady, when I was a newspaper boy, Anima knows this story, where I delivered her paper, and she says, "You're a new boy, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, I'll be coming by on the 11th for collections. Is that okay?" Next thing I know, I'm hit in the head by a cane. She didn't swing and hit me with it. She threw it at me. And says, "You get the hell out of here, you goddamn Yankee." I fucking ran. I told my dad, I'm like, that lady threw her cane at me. And he goes, "Son, you're going to run into that here." Because this lady lived, she was alive during the Civil War. You know, I was crazy shit, man. Yep. But she ended up being really nice to me. And then when I was older, I worked at the nursing home and I took care of her. And she gifted me in her will, her silver cross that she hung on her wall all the time. And I thought that was really nice. And she laughed when I would tell her that story when I was a kid. "You hit me with the cane." And she's, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetheart, because you're a darling. You're a darling." Fucking love Southerners. It's one of those accents that I find endearing as hell when you hear a really good, not a redneck accent, where they just start fumbling and fucking around with words that just don't sound right. I'm talking about a true deep Southern accent is just gorgeous. The lilt of the Georgian in particular, somebody from Savannah in particular. Atlanta, not so much. Savannah, Georgia has, in my opinion, the single best accent in the United States. The only one that comes close to it, I'm sorry if some people don't like it, is a proper New York accent. And then the third one for me is Chicago. Coming in dead last is anybody with a fucking accent like they sound like they're from fucking Fargo. God, I hate that fucking accent. "Yeah, you know, don't you know? Yeah, you betcha. That there's this is Chicago. That there's really good." Yeah, that's how Chicagoans talk. I love that accent.
Speaking of accent, Robert Davi, he made a good Spanish-speaking guy trying to speak in English.
Oh, with his accent, yeah.
Yeah,
Did you like that?
And yes, and not only that, his Spanish is, I would say, 80% correct. It's awesome the way he's speaking, the way in which he says his lines in Spanish.
That's good to hear.
I'm not surprised. I mean, he's very thorough in preparing for his roles. I give him that.
Yeah.
Again, we have Anakin.
I do not like Benicio del Toro as a person, but god damn it, he's a good fucking actor.
Yeah, he is.
And he dies a horrible death here.
Yes, he does.
Did you notice the change in his voice from here to Sicario?
Oh yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
been a while since I've watched Sicario.
I love that fucking. It caught Anima off guard watching that movie.
Mhm.
That scene when he kills the family at the end.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Anima's
Oh my
like
God,
so fucking like what? Oh my fucking god! And I'm
I
like,
mean, it would have been bad
know
enough to
it.
kill the parents in front of the children, but the kids too? Horrible.
it's because
Well, at least
his
they are not
children were killed.
traumatized.
He returned the favor, is what he was doing.
I know.
And humanely, because his family was skinned alive and dipped in acid. So
Yeah.
And he just simply killed him real quick.
Yeah, he just turned
And he
them
is
off.
a great character. I got to tell you, he's a complex character. But because I like the second film, what was it called?
Day of the Soldado. The Day of the Soldado.
Day of the Soldado. I fucking love that movie. I really do.
I haven't seen the second one. I haven't seen that one.
I heard that they were planning to make a third one.
Yes,
So do you
they
know
are. He already has a story, according to my favorite writer out of Hollywood right now. What is his name?
Taylor Sheridan had a
Taylor
hand in
Sheridan.
that, didn't
Thank
he?
you.
Yeah.
That's who I was talking about.
Yep.
Because I like his script doctor and have argued about this. It's not much of an argument. I mean, we're friends.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get dirty. But we did have an argument over Taylor Sheridan because he doesn't like Taylor Sheridan, whereas I think Sheridan is a gift when he's doing his job right.
Yeah.
When he's
love him.
putting all of his effort into it.
Yep.
It's
When
good
he
stuff.
wants to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he does stuff like Lioness, that's just garbage writing. I
All
just
he
hate
did
it.
was
Yeah.
put his name on that. He was just an exec. He let other people do all the important stuff, and we ended
Also,
Heavy lifting. Yeah.
the end of 1923 was just fuck. In fact, I hated the whole season. I got to be honest.
Yeah, because the whole season was just them struggling to get home, and all the audience wanted was them to be at home and maybe take over the farm or something. But all we got was just drama after drama after drama, and it was so unbelievable and overdone. I'm still
Guys?
angry with him for that.
Guys, now that you're talking about shows with a year for a name, how was the show that we were watching, the sci-fi show in the big ships, in the boats? That
1899, the one that never
1899.
got the
Oh
ending.
man, how much I hate that they canceled that show.
They
Yeah.
should have been
Awesome.
allowed to do a short film, like an hour.
Yes,
long.
at least a movie. Give us a
It was
movie.
a movie.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, absolutely. That was brilliant, that show.
I have thought about this to contact them to have them do a comic book or a graphic novel wrap up, an official one, but I would not want to fucking draw it. I can't do it. I'm having trouble doing my own.
That sounds like something Disney would do.
Here comes the most fulfilling part of the movie for me. Fucking hate this.
What is it?
Oh, well,
yeah.
well, this-
Oh my God.
The
Yeah.
tanker.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here
And
we
then
go.
The guy,
How they did this is so amazing to me. To get an 18-wheeler to flip on one side and drive.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's insane.
Absolutely. Look up the Battle of the Bloody Angle. That it was so fucking bloody from the close quarter combat that they did there that it was muddy and the mud was blood and dirt. Holy shit, you went to Winchester. Yeah. Oh, I love the Shenandoah Valley. There's so much wonderful stuff in Virginia, man.
The cat
Who knows the
agrees.
stuff? I didn't catch that.
Rocket
Tom.
Kitty.
The cat agrees.
Yes.
Oh, Script Doctor. Yes. He likes my writing for the most part.
Damn.
Mostly.
I know that mostly he has a problem with a few of the things that I do. Like he wanted a whole scene that I did removed from the story, and I'm like, I'm not removing it, but I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm keeping it in because it was a specific visual gag that I wanted. That in the middle of this gory, horrific moment where this woman is being chased down by a fucking monstrous, blood-sucking giant vampire bat. And this guy is at a 7-Eleven store working overnight. Nobody's in the store, so he's mopping the floor, which I've done many a time when I was younger. And they run by across the street, they run past the store, and right as they pass the store, he turns and looks and nobody's there. And I thought that'd be fucking funny. Like, I wonder what that was. Thought I heard something.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Boom.
He did not like that gag. I love the stunts in this. And that hole, when he's inside there shooting at him in the vehicle, shooting at Bond, and Bond is trying to get around the vehicle to get away from the bullets.
Yeah.
I fucking love that scene.
Yeah.
I really fucking do.
Yeah, this I do remember the end of it. I do remember this thing with the tanker and everything.
2 tankers.
Yeah, 2 tankers. That's right. I forgot.
Another insane stunt that they did.
Yeah.
I don't think you could pull off shit like that today.
Yeah. Not the wheelie, though.
Would not been happy.
Not the wheelie, though.
Not the wheelie.
Well,
Yeah.
no, yeah, that was goofy. Even I
Absolutely
thought it was.
not.
The wheelie that wasn't even a wheelie because. You see the 8 the 8 wheels at the end are all in contact. He bent the chassis, man. They bent the fucking chassis.
Let's ask Christian Delorme. What do you think? Could you do this with an 18-wheeler, bro?
Is Christian here?
No,
I
I'm
haven't
just
seen
saying he's my favorite truck driving guy.
Oh yeah.
He actually was at Brian's house yesterday. That's
the other unbelievable thing here is the driver, his weapon is a knife. Dude, let me tell you something. I don't know how it's in the north, but Central America and South America, every truck driver is carrying a shotgun.
Right, yeah.
They have to.
They're armed,
right?
that's for sure. I call them the modern day cowboys. Because they do a lot of stuff alone. So yeah, they're ready to protect themselves, no doubt. And their cargo. All right, guys. I love you to death, but I gotta get going. I got a show in 45 minutes. So
okay, buddy. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us, man. We love you, man.
I know my schedule has changed. You're going to see a little less of me, but I promise I will make every show. I just won't be able to stick around for all of it. You guys be good. And if you're so inclined, come see me in about 45 minutes, boys and girls.
I am probably going to get dinner and then take a fucking nap. I'm feeling I'm so tired right now. What do you think of the page so far with this? Let me move it for you.
Yeah. Show it big screen if you can.
Can you do that, Martin?
Oh, wait.
Make him the big guy in the room.
Boom.
That's me. You don't want to show my stuff. Mine is amateur compared to Gary's. Come on.
No, I love your stuff too, buddy.
There you go.
Yeah, that's looking great, dude.
That's great.
I want you to see, look how small this is. This is a single fucking panel, and this is on the printed page. It'll be this size. It'll be that big.
Yeah, that's a lot of detail, man. Yeah.
I get in there and I try to get
fantastic, Gary. I love it, man.
Thanks, brother.
One thing I've learned from you is sometimes you just need to use black, and don't use hash marks, none of that shit. Make some solid black and be done with it. And that's one thing that your drawings have taught me. To achieve good contrast, sometimes you just have to black things out. So, all right, guys, I gotta go. You can be good, and I will see you on State of the Atmosphere. Those of you watching in about 45 minutes. See ya.
All right,
See ya,
brother.
Joe.
Take care. Here he comes.
This girl knows
Yeah,
everything.
he comes.
She knows how to drive a boat, a plane, and a fucking 18-wheeler. That is not easy. That
She
is
was
not
in the
hard.
army. She's an army pilot. So yeah, she knows a lot of stuff.
I got to tell you, I've driven an 18-wheeler. I had no training at it, but I got to tell you, man, I ground that clutch a lot. You'd hear that. It is not. It is not a fucking 4-speed.
You were trying to kill it, which every grind that you could see Gary say, "Die, bitch, die!" Oh my! What is this conversation that we have here?
In chat, I think they're just talking about.
Yes.
Virginia.
No. You all know the legend of the great white deer of Shenandoah Valley? They say he's carnivorous. His crimson red eye looks like blood. Pants like knives.
Yeah, I got to tell you,
Sounds
being
like
in
something I don't
Virginia,
want to eat.
growing up in Virginia, the only bad thing that like other than getting stuck by their antlers when you're hunting them and they're not dead when you approach them. Yeah, I hated this wink at the end by the fish. I thought that was stupid.
That was stupid, but I
But,
love how he just jumps down into the pool and then drags her in to show her you're the girl I want, not the other.
Well, I
one.
also love the way, the whole "Ask Me" thing, and then it turns into a fucking song by Patti LaBelle.
Beautiful. song.
Anima hates Patti LaBelle because she's got nasal something.
Yeah,
I love
that
Patti
sounds
LaBelle's
okay.
voice, but I got to tell you, again, one of my top 10 favorite Bond songs is "License to Kill" with Gladys Knight singing. Fucking love that. I do. I fucking do. And when I do my Virginia accent, it's real. That's when I just let loose. I'll talk. I'm from Virginia. I'm from Fredericksburg, and I'm just sort of doing it now. I'm just relaxing. Most of the time, I'm a little tight, and so I don't enunciate clearly. But man, when I get tired, I say tired. I'm tired. Bond video game trailer just dropped. Hey, share that, dude. Oh, snipe hunting, dude. Yeah, we'd fuck with a lot of people that, hey, you want to go snipe hunting? Yeah, you get them out there and you leave them. And you take a large paper sack and you got to roll the edges of that paper sack and you walk around with a stick and you're banging it on the paper bag. And you bent down to the ground because they run fast. And you got to try to catch them when they come out of the bushes. And you're just, snap, snap, snap. Yeah, tarred, man. I'm tarred and feathered. So that's that. I'm going to wrap the show up too, man. I feel like Joe, man. I'm fucking beat. Just like Mephisto, man. I'm fucking old. But that's the page so far. I think this page is looking good. Almost done with it. I'm going to finish it tonight. All you do is finish this panel and these two bottom panels, and I'll be through. Not kidding. When I lived in Virginia, oh, yeah. So I want to thank Gambit, Snorty, Tom Baker, Penny, Slasher Fred, Andy Morrow, Paul Smith, D. Bud Martin, Read by Nature, Zach's my buddy Kyle, Cinder Hammerschlag, Genghis Khan, Das Wölfen, 11 Alpha. Yeah. 11 Alpha 2, calling 11 Alpha Actual, you receive. CJ Prime, And of course, Wolvie of the One Quarter Jew. Thanks for being here, guys. It was great, man. And thanks for doing the memberships. Who was that did that?
Sean.
Sean. Thank you,
Sean
Sean, for
Hester.
doing that. Oh, no. Look, there's only, I got to tell you, Robert Davi is a really good, in my opinion, dangerous villain. But the single greatest villain in the history of the franchise, flat out, is Robert Shaw in From Russia with Love. That he's like one of the most lethal, dangerous characters in all of the films. And the fight scene between him and Connery is just epic. So Sean Estep, thanks a lot for doing that for everybody. It's deeply appreciated and showing your support. I want to thank Keith for also being here. Of course, Mephisto and I just forgot my buddy's name. I'm so tired.
Joe.
Joe?
Hello, Joe. I want to thank Joe for all he does. He's such a big supporter of this channel. And don't forget, he is doing his show in a little bit, so go check it out. Are we able to dump to his show? Is he going live yet?
No,
in
is
40
going live in 45.
Yeah, so
Well, 40.
we can't dump. Oh well. Is there anybody doing a live show that we can send their way?
Not that I know of.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that blows. All right, I'm going to turn that off and put.
Oh my God, my eyes.
Your ice?
Yeah, dude, you have to warm before going.
Well, I said I'm going to go ahead and switch back to camera. Fuck, what do you expect? More as a warning. We're going to take off, guys. I want to thank everybody for being here. It was a lot of fun talking about this movie. I love this movie a lot. It's got its flaws, but it is the single most accurate depiction of James Bond by an actor who kind of looks like what Bond should look like, with that long lupine face. Spot on, man. It's a good film. And it is my second favorite Bond film after the previous film. And then after that, it goes all the way back to the Sean Connery films, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger. I do not like Diamonds Are Forever. Dr. No, I enjoyed that a bit. I did not like On Her Majesty's the Secret Service, even though I do own it. I showed Anima, I have all the Bond films except for that one. And I finally said, I'm going to have to break down and buy it so I can say I have them. I am buying the final edition of this movie too, because from what I understand, it's not that it has dirty stuff in it, but it has the longer scene with the head explosion, and it is the version that would have gotten them an R rating, and so they toned it down just by 2 seconds. And it is now officially the only version that you can get on Blu-ray. And the version I have is, of course, upgraded DVD. So we got any good comments here I should read before we go?
Well, we have 11-star comments.
Martin Acosta saying, one of my coworkers when I worked at DC restaurant used to drive to El Salvador. Hey, you know the DC area. You'll know the Bayou Bar, right? It's a nightclub up outside of DC. And that's where I went with my band. And I was the only white guy in the band. And I'm the drummer. Where the guy walked up to me after the gig and I'm breaking down my kit. And the guy walks up and he's standing there. He's a gigantic fucking dude. And I'm big. And he was like bigger than me. And he walked up and he goes, yo, man, I want you to know you're a pretty good drummer for a cracker. And I was like, what? So I didn't know what a cracker was. And I turned and looked at all the black guys in my band. And Lawrence Holmes, the lead singer, is like, he goes, it's a compliment. Take it. I went, oh, thank you. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And in Fredericksburg, you had the Holiday Inn North and you had the Holiday Inn South. And the Holiday Inn North had a little bit of a bar club in it. and I did stand-up comedy there. That was one of the places I was featured before a rock band. The rock band that was appearing there was none other than I just forgot their name. They did the song "Wrap It Up, I'll Take It" from the 80s.
Don't know that one.
And "Wrap It Up," they were trying to be like ZZ Top. "I'll take it." It was blues rock, R&B, and they were a bunch of long-haired crackers. And I've never seen so much cocaine in my life, and it freaked me out. And after I did that gig, I didn't want to do comedy. Yeah, Fabulous Thunderbirds. They opened there at or they were at the Holiday Inn North, and I was the act before them to get the crowd. Instead of another band, it was me doing stand-up, and it was a fun crowd. Had a blast, but I got to tell you, man, seriously, it dissuaded me from doing comedy because I'm like, I don't want to be around that much fucking cocaine. Seriously, man, that shit's scary. And Charlie Bruce was the front desk manager at that hotel, by the way. Anima?
Yeah, I know.
That up. I can't believe I never heard about the skunk ape before. Skunk ape. And we have that here in Missouri too. We have we call him the Momo. And it's still the same thing. He stinks. Strong smell of, I think they said, sulfur. I've never seen a fucking thing. I've never seen a UFO. I've never seen a cryptid, but I'm fascinated by that shit. And I know a lot of people who have seen them. Well, I looked that up. I can't, okay. That was what I read. All right. Weird. I've heard alligator myths and one about a huge poison frog, but never one about a skunk ape. Yeah, man. But we had stories about alligators too. In fact, in Fredericksburg, 11 Alpha, there was a law on the books for the city proper, okay, that said you were not allowed to walk your pet alligator down the city street in Fredericksburg. Why?
Nice.
Because one asshole did. That's how the government gets power, man. From people who go, he got an alligator. I don't want to see that. Let's make a law.
Yep. Most laws are, I don't like that, so nobody can do it.
Yep. So wait, something really hairy that smells like rotten eggs. I've seen it. It sleeps on a bench in front of Target.
God.
That's just some old guy named Benny. He's old. He just doesn't bathe. He likes that smegmatic thing. All right, we're gonna get the hell out of here. Anima, that was a fun show today. I'm glad you got to throw some of your knowledge in here. Martin, glad you threw your opinion. Mephisto and Joe, thanks for your thoughts on this. Love you guys. And of course, Keith, thanks for popping in and giving us a little history, which you and I both shared a lot of the knowledge and history on this movie in particular. So thanks a lot, guys. And we're going to get the hell out of here. Please. I don't know what the fuck that was. Was that Keith?
That was Keith.
Yes.
TV in his background, I'm assuming.
Hold on. Father Weems, what do you think he said? I've got no fucking idea. Thank you, Father.
Let's get out of here.
Wait. I think he said something like,
if he was a wee bit closer, I could lob a caber at him, kin.
Yeah.
I love that.
Everybody have a great Wednesday. Have a happy hump day. Bye, guys.
Bye.
This episode was brought to you by Martin's need to be self-aware.